School. I'm your science teacher. We are learning chapter 2. Is matter around us pure? Now, last time we have saw was what is suspension and what is colloidal solution. Okay, and we have seen the properties. Now, what is next is the component. From here we have left. So, see the component of the colloidal solution. So, basically we are talking about a colloidal solution, right? Colloidal, I already told you how to make a colloidal solution. Take a glass of water and add 1 or 2 drop of either ink or milk or Dettol, not Savlon, right? Only 1 or 2 drop, okay, not more than that. Then you see the whole watercolor into colloidal solution. So here it's not only this water liquid into liquid make it a colloidal solution. There are many other ways also you can get a colloidal things, but it has two things. One is called disperse phase and other is the dispersing medium. Disperse phase is like the one which is the more in quantity, and dispersion medium is what we are adding here. Let me show you here example. For example, the disperse phase is liquid and the dispersing medium is gas. So that makes it aerosol. The type is called aerosol. Basically the one, so this is how the fog, clouds and mist is been created. When you solid and a gas is a mix, it again making an aerosol, that is smoke, right? Automobile exhaust, our car, bike and all. Now when a gas and liquid, it will become foam. You have seen shaving cream, yes. Liquid emulsion, it's milk, face cream, right? Solid and liquid, it becomes solution like the milk of magnesia. Gas and solid will become foam again, right? Foam, rubber, sponge. Liquid and solid, it will become gel. Solid and solid, it will become solid solution. So this is how the common properties. So people should know when what is mixed with another thing, it will become what. Fine. Now, what next is, so we have understood the type of solutions, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Then we have seen types of other solution in terms of what is solution, properties of solution, suspension solution, colloidal solution. Now we are talking is the separating techniques. How can you separate certain heterogeneous mixtures? Now you know heterogeneous mixture, for example, it can be easily separated by either hand picking. How it hand picking we can separate it? For example, the way earlier the people used to remove the stones from our rice, right? So that is hand picking, sieving, filtration. Those are all the techniques that are help in our day to day life, right? Those are the techniques which we help in our day to day life. But apart of that, there are certain techniques that either very useful to in a day to day life also, but in an industrial level also it is very helpful. The first thing is how to obtain a colored component dye from blue or black ink. Now you know how does a blue or black ink is prepared. See, all our clothes are being colored with the help of a dye, color dye. Okay, they mix few proportions of inks into it and finally they make it a, so those colors are called dye. Now we know how to use a dye, but how to get a dye from the color, that's an important thing. So for that it's a very simple technique. You have to make sure you have to, that technique is called evaporation. See, they have taken a beaker, right? So fill the beaker with water. Watch glass. Now watch glass, it's not like the glass you are watching, it's like the one which is at the top here. This is the watch glass. It's like a saucer kind of thing, cup and a saucer. So that saucer kind of thing, but it is made up of glass. Over there you put a ink, few drops of ink into the watch glass. So you are pouring some ink into the watch glass. Now start heating. Now if you directly heat the watch glass, what happens is the ink get dry so much that it will not, you will not get dye also properly. So for that certain things should be heated like this, right? The way we used to prepare chocolates and all. You cannot heat the chocolate directly, right? So here also what we are doing, we are heating a water. So from that water, a vapor will come. From that vapor, it is going to heat the watch glass. When this ink is heated with the help of that vapor, the water into ink get evaporate. So what is left? Only dye. Okay. So that is how a dye is separated from blue or black ink using the technique called evaporation. Now this is a very simple technique we use many times, but right. But the next technique what we are going to learn, so this technique or this method is called evaporation. So we find that ink is a mixture of dye in water. So we can easily separate the volatile solvent into non-volatile solute by the method of evaporation. So it's very easy. How can we separate cream from milk? Now that's an interesting thing, right? So if you really wanted to go and see, so you can visit your nearby dairy and see how they used to separate a cream from milk, or how do they make paneer, right? Cottage cheese from it, cheese basically, in simple words. So this process is called centrifugation. Very, very nice and important process. See, what do we have to do is we have to use a technique of centrifugation. So so you cannot separate it with a simple filtration technique. For example, some filter paper is there and you pass some milk, the cream get at the top and the other milk get bottom. No, it is not possible. So for that, centrifugation process are required. And what is centrifugation process? What happens is, see, I'll tell you what they do is, they used to take the milk and they used to churn so hard. They used to churn it so hard. Now we do not have that machine, centrifugation machine at home. So for that, what they do is, they used to we used to use a milk churner. Remember the way we used to remove that cheese from this thing? For that, we used to churn the milk at very high proportion. Now exactly what happened is, see, when you means you have to take a container, and that container you pour milk into it, then you close it very tight and you have to move it so fast. When you move it so fast, what happens is, the denser particles are forced at the bottom and the lighter particles will come at the top. So they will simply remove the lighter particles and you will get the cream. But for that, again I am using, you have required a centrifugation machine. Okay. Now this technique is not only useful for the removing cream out of milk, but this is also useful when and how? It is useful for our medical test. For example, our blood and urine test. Exactly. They have a small machine. What they do is, they used to put the blood into or urine into a test tube. They used to close it, and there is a machine that hold it. And when they switch it on, the test tube will move like the way you used to visit in our the way that is called tora, right? That we used to, when we used to go in a circus, it used to move round, right? So that is actually how a centrifugation machine works. Okay, so it is useful applications. It is useful in separating, like we used to test Diagonist laboratories for blood and urine test, for dairy industries, and also in our washing machine. Yes, you know, after washing our clothes, the machine used to rotate it for 10 minutes or 8 minutes or 12 minutes very fast. So what happens is, when it rotate very fast, the denser particles, means water gets separate out of clothes and it get dry. Exactly. That is how a semi-dry clothes we will get from a washing machine. So that process is also centrifugation, which you are using in your washing machine at home. Okay. So I hope you are getting what I am trying to say. Okay. This is how you used to separate, and this technique is called centrifugation. This technique is called centrifugation. Okay, so we learn two techniques. One is called evaporation and other is a centrifugation. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Please do watch it. I'm going to send you an animation also regarding the same. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. That's it for a day. Bye.